Welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today I am going to continue our lesson, Unit 15, What would you do? If you take a look at this question, we probably can see that it is about our imagination in the present, okay? So the question can be something like, what would you do if you found a lot of money? Or what would you do if you were a teacher? Okay, so it is all about our imagination. Okay, so let's take a look at the first activity altogether. Snapshot: the morning news. So we have many different categories. Okay, so right here we focus on stories of honesty. If you take a look at honesty means honest. Okay, do not you don't cheat other people. All right, you tell everyone the truth. Okay, so that is about honesty. So we're going to learn the story about honesty from a certain person. As you can see, the first one right here: businessman returns $750,000 to owner. And then the businessman right here is saying with a brief phone call. It means the owner just only say thank you to the businessman right here. All right, he is very honest because with that amount of money, he didn't keep. All right, and then he returned to the owner, and the owner didn't say anything, just only thank. That's it, with a brief phone call. Brief means a short phone call. All right, so I could not believe it. Let's move on to the next news. Golfer, the person who plays golf, admits. Admit means tell the truth. Admits using illegal ball by mistake, but is still disqualified from game. When you see the word disqualify means eliminated or out of the game. Okay, because he or she admits using illegal ball by mistake. In order to win, they try to cheat. Okay, but actually still disqualify. But he also admits, he or she also admits his or her mistake. Okay. Another story is that athlete, like athletes, like a person who plays sport. Okay, or you can say good at sport, admits to cheating again. Confess means admit the same. Okay, that he just wanted to win. Okay, I don't know what kind of cheating, but he just wanted to win. All right, but that is very honest. Okay, he is very honest to tell the truth. And another one is student uses detective work to find owner of gold jewelry. Detective work just like FBI method to find out a certain kind of case, you know. Yeah, but this particular student can find the owner of the gold, okay, by using detective work. Maybe the fingerprinting, just an example. And another story is that taxi driver returns computer, so he drives miles to give laptop back to passenger. So it means that he doesn't take it, he just drive a long miles, all right, in order to give a laptop back to passenger. This person is very honest. I think I like it. And another one is fan returns soccer star's lucky t-shirt. Player gives him $1,000 reward. Okay, so maybe at that time the soccer star wrote t-shirt, or maybe give that lucky t-shirt to the fan, and after that he kept losing the game. All right, and the fan finally decided to return the soccer star the lucky t-shirt, and so that the soccer star becomes famous or getting better, okay, in terms of having that lucky t-shirt. And the soccer star gives the fan with $1,000 reward. Wow. Okay, I cannot believe that. Okay, so yeah, soccer star. If you think about soccer star, is all about your own ability. So it's not about having lucky t-shirt or something, uh, you know miracle. It's all about his or her own ability, to play. And it's not about that kind of thing, okay? But it's something like superstition, okay? He believes that this t-shirt can bring him luck, but I'm not really sure, okay? All right, so let's move on to number 2, conversation. If I found $750,000, so what would you do if you found that money, everyone? Yeah, you probably say, "Oh, teacher, if I found that money, $750,000, I would buy a new house." Or maybe you can say, "I would buy a new car." Okay? Or maybe you can say, "Oh, teacher, I would give it to my parents." And you probably say, "Oh, I would keep for myself." Or another people probably said, "Oh, I would keep for my own wedding." Okay, because you are going to get married and then you want to save money. And of course, this does not happen, everybody. It's just only the imagination at all. Okay, but suppose that if you found that, what would you do? Okay, and look at this too. The imagine of finding $750,000, and look at the girl right here. She was daydreaming of buying a lot of items, shoes, clothes, so on and so forth. All right. So your job in this conversation is about to listen, to feel, and pets. So they are talking about the imagination. And in part B, you also need to answer to the question, what would Phil do if he found $750,000? Okay, so listen and check to find out the answer. Okay, so let me move on to next, which is about grammar point, unreal conditional sentences with if clauses. Okay, so this is about our grammar point that we're going to learn today. And as you can see right here, we have two clauses. One is if clause and the other one is main clause. You might have learned, but for those who haven't learned, that's okay. Now let me clarify it right here. Okay, so you can see right here, imaginary situation, so we use simple past. Or possible consequence, a main clause, we use would, could, or might plus verb. Verb right here must be base because these are modals, so after that we have to use a base verb. All right, so let me go details into this grammar point. Let me bring up the handout. So as you can see right here, let's find out what and how we use second conditional. Okay, so we use this means second conditional. We use this to express our imagination in the present, which is not true or real. Okay, so it's not true or it is not real, it's just our imagination. And imaginary situation is used with if clause or past simple tense, as I mentioned earlier, and the possible consequence or result is used with main clause. Okay, the main clause. And we have modals such as would, could, might with base verb. So if you take a look at the modals right here, we have would, could, might. So in this case, you can use whatever you want. All right, whether you want to use would, could, or might. The difference is only the degree of possibility. Okay, so would is stronger than could is stronger than might. All right, so that you can use whatever. But if you're sure, maybe you can use would. But of course, it does not happen. Understand that? It's just only your imagination of possible result. And we have two forms right here. If you take a look at these forms, we have if clause first, or maybe you can write down by beginning with if clause. Subject, verb 2, which is about past simple. Object, subject, modals, verb base, and object. Modals right here, I refer to would, could, or might. Okay, and verb base, again, I already explained, but let me come up with this idea once again. Or base verb refers to the verb that does not change according to the subject. So whatever subject, base verb is still the same. We don't add s or es. Or you can begin your conditional clause or second conditional with a main clause first. Okay, so when you use main clause first in the front, of course there is no comma separated between these two. But if you use if clause, of course there is a comma. But when you begin with a main clause, that is, there is no comma. All right, to separate the two clauses. As you can see, these two examples. If I found a wallet with full of money, I would return it to the owner. Okay, so another, you can write the main clause first. I would return it to the owner if I found a wallet with full of money. Okay, so I don't know whether you return the money to the owner or not. Okay, if you found that money. Okay, all right, so I have small notes right here. In case verb to be is used with if clause, so if clause again, and this is verb to be, verb to, but verb to be. Okay, you can say past simple tense. Were is used with all the subjects, so it means that we have to use were with all the subject. Why? Because we want to make it formal. Okay, again, if the verb is verb to be in an if clause, then we have to use were with all the subjects. All right, why? Because we want to make it formal. Is it okay to use was? Let's say this case. If we use words with the subjects I, he, she, or it will be informal. Of course, it is fine, but it is considered to be informal. And in your exam or in your writing, you should come up with formal way, not informal way. All right. So I recommend you to use were with all the subjects when it comes to if clause with verb to be. Okay. So do not use was. In some cases, was it is incorrect. So I recommend you to use were with all the subject in order to make it formal and also correct. Okay. Let's take a look at these examples. If I were you, I would try hard, or I would try hard if I were you. Okay, so usually we say I was, right? But in this case, it is an if conditional case, then we have to use were with subject I. So it means that we use were with all the subjects. And you can write another way by beginning with main clause. I would try hard if I were you. Okay. Another example here, if she were a teacher, as you can see right here, as opposed to be was, but was is considered to be informal, so we should use were. If she were a teacher, she would give everyone an A. Of course, you are not teacher, so that you cannot give, or you cannot give everyone an A, right? And she would give everyone an A if she were a teacher. Of course not, you are not a teacher. And this one, I am not you. Okay, so I don't try hard. So that is just only your imagination. Okay, and below is your practice, everybody. So you just do it, and I will give you the answer later. All right, and let me go back to the lesson. So in this lesson, we also have the exercise as well. So I want you to do this as your extra practice. So the same thing like the handout. So we have this exercise. So you need to fill in this conversation with if conditional. You can say second conditional. All right. Again, if clause with past simple, main clause with modal, would, could, or might, and verb base. All right. So let fill in this exercise. All right. So I think that's it, everybody. If you have any questions, please go to our Telegram group chat, or you can leave the question right here in our PUC classroom. So I will try my best to answer to your questions. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.